Hey guys, this is Kim Cow. Welcome back to Touhou, the Genius of Savros. Last time, and probably for the past like 4 times, we've struggled through the Lake Bed Temple, getting killed a couple of times because we couldn't run away. Actually not dying in legit combat though, which was kind of fun. And yeah, we made it to the end. All 3 teams have successfully found all of their Orichalcum Adamantite shards without having to look them up, which was quite good. And this time we're going to knock out a whole host of enemies and get some levels and stuff, because why not? Let's just quickly go over the enemies. Most of them are not too exciting in terms of stuff that they drop, so we may end up ignoring a fair few, but I do want to go over some of the actual traits of them here. So there's quite a few enemies, not quite a few, there's 2 or 3 that we saw that have regen with or without land, like the Will-O-Wisp over here. This thing is critically weak to dark, but since it has 999 magic defense and it reflects magic, good luck actually hitting it with dark. If you've got dark breath, I guess, so from Satori, that would work quite well. But other than that, yeah, the 100 evasion, that's sort of the high end of things in this dungeon, but 100, 120 is seen a couple of times. This is one of the enemies I need to kill quite a few of, because it has the Wisdom Ring drop. It's just like all the other mages and warrior stuff, it's only weak to dark. There's no resistances or other weaknesses there. And you see, some of the enemies do have named equipments. The Magician's Rod is a really old weapon though, so I don't know, it's kind of weird to see, but they're still pretty powerful, these things, even if they don't look like they are. Only snag with them is that they have no physical defense though, so Satori's Tentacle would do a lot of damage here. So that's good to know. And speaking of things that are zeros, this Vartoir's got 0 magic defense, which is nice. And yeah, it's got the Crystal Shield, so I don't think it blocks all magic as a result. Like the Crystal Shield you seen before, it's the heavyweight shield, blocks physical and light. We were getting our light skills defended against, but I don't think it can block all magic, which is, it's interesting that it blocks light, and also frustrating because of course light is the major element that you want to use on Route C, and that's where these buggers show up the most, so yeah, that's the thing. Then you have the Golden Deer, it doesn't really drop anything remotely interesting, but although steel is still useful, and I used an awful lot of it before coming in here for armor crafting, so it wouldn't be a bad thing to drop, but yeah, 120 evasion, ridiculously high, also 210 speed, so really quick, but it has no magic defense and it's weak to electric, quite weak to it, so you can easily defeat this thing with that sort of advantage taking. And you have Lizard Knight, as I said, this is weak to water and resistant to earth actually. It's kind of interesting. This has Dexterity Ring 3 might be something I'd go for, and it also has a shield that blocks fire, which is, yeah, kind of weird, but it's there. It's odd that it doesn't block its weakness, but you know. Aquila Sword is annoying. Other than that, no magic defense, kind of fun to take out. Like this guy. This guy doesn't drop anything useful, but is weak to fire as well as light. So that's, yeah, I should probably take advantage of that, but I forgot. Also, he's stab resistant. That's why Notori was doing such little damage before. And Lamia is actually strike resistant. I didn't remember properly. I thought it was slash resistant, but no, it's actually resistant to strike. So I was right the first time with what I said there. Pretty sizable physical defense, and yeah, no weakness to dark, unlike the other dragons of its kind. So yeah, it's only a couple of dragons in the mid game which are weak to dark. And of course this is not one of them here, so yeah, Dragon Soul has natural regen and also fire-based land regen. Kind of OP much, but despite having physical resistances, it has no physical defense. So strong attacks can punch through it, especially if they're water elements as well. You know, Pororoka Slash, stuff like that. Yeah, it drops the Vulcan Amulet though, which I do want, so this is one enemy I would like to kill more often. As is the Locomo Dragon. This is a, well, stab resistant instead of strike or slash. It's kind of fun, but yeah, I do want to kill some more of these because the Dragon Scale Sword is cool. Not necessarily the most useful of things now that I've got the Kusanagi, but fuck it, I want to show it off anyway, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Then we have this enemy, which I probably will kill just out of habit, and more because it can drop Trapezohedron. You do want to get as many of those as you can, because this is effectively the final tier of gear. Spoilers, it's not quite. But yeah, it's basically the final tier that you are likely to make in the game. So you want as many of these things as you can, because these weapons are all good. I've shown them off before, you know what they're like, so yeah. This guy though, not so interesting. It's still weak to earth a little bit, which is weird, but very weak to water, slightly weak to earth. Nothing too interesting, no magic defense, so at least you can punch through that. But the fire shard is just not an interesting drop. You can see most of these guys do drop either Orichalcum or Adamantite shards, but their drop rate is incredibly low. We're talking single sort of percent here. We're talking basically the same drop rate as the synthesis materials, so probably not even 1%. Just so you know. Then this physical reflecting guy with no physical or magic defense, or evasion actually, it's kind of funny I suppose. Skill ring, yeah, that would be something I'd go for. It now that I know that potential increases critical hit rate, this is something that's worth looking into. Weak to both water and fire, like I said before. And then, of course, one of the items I truly want has to be on one of the most annoying enemies of the stage, bar none. Galgalim has 40% Divine Barrier, let's just get that out of the way now. 40% Divine Barrier, super stupid, only slightly weak to Dark, very resistant to main elements, and very resistant to, obviously it's immune to light at this point, but it drops to Magic Ring 3, and I definitely need that, so I have to kill a lot of these, and they only show up in this stage, and it's super dumb, and I don't like it. So there you go. Well, they show up in this and the next stage, but the next stage is, as you may have sort of thought, or potentially pondered from some of the previous layouts, it's kind of like stage 12, where it's about 1 or 2 rooms, and that's it. Void, as I've said before, it's immune to all magic based elements, it has its own natural regen, and it's not weak to anything else. But it has no physical defense, so Satori would tear this a new one with Tentacle. If you do look at stuff like this, you can see a lot of the enemies just don't have good defenses, and that's the sort of points where stuff like this, and even Marissa's attacks, physical attacks, can do very well. Marissa's physicals also tend to be affected by defense quite a bit, as lances in general tend to be, and brooms are a lance-like weapon on the physical side, so yeah. This guy doesn't have any magic defense, so this is one enemy that you could use magic-based stuff on, and it's weak to water, as I've said before, so that's kinda cool, but physical works pretty good as well, thanks to the fact that it really doesn't have any massive physical defense to speak of, so yeah. Of course, we've had the stupid Squid Devil before. It's not too big of a difference in terms of stuff. I think it's slightly more resistant to elements than before, maybe. Still not resistant to electric, that's one common thing with these. And the stab weakness does make it fairly easy to take down, but it's got more induction than before, so it can punch through your resistance gear and buffs and all that stuff. Emeralds are quite rare, so if you can get one, definitely go for it, but I wouldn't fight this guy specifically because it's annoying. Look how much HP that thing's got. Way too much. X25, boring. Same weaknesses and stuff as we've seen before, very weak to electric, slightly weak to strike, and it has reasonable defenses actually, but it doesn't drop any decent item stuff. At least the rock is okay, but we have enough rocks at the moment, I think. So yeah. The petal, just like most plants, doesn't really drop anything too interesting. Pretty mirrors are okay, but probably the least exciting of the items to get, because shields are not crafted very often. And they have enough physical defense, so a tentacle wouldn't work either. Resistant to stab though, I guess you don't shoot plants, so there is that, but yeah. And not much else to say, it's just weaker to fire than it is to slash, as are pretty much every plant enemy, you know. Minotaur, we've already got the muscle about 3, so we don't need to specifically kill this guy anymore. You could also use Earth against him, which I think is a trend that we'll see about this and giant-like enemies in general. And it's slash resistant, didn't actually know that. Okay. And dark resistant too, but that sort of makes sense because it's light weak, so yeah. No magic defense, as we've seen, it gets torn apart by that. Also gets torn apart by blind, just like this guy, who also has no magic defense and is weak against both light and dark. So yeah, kind of a Genji situation there, I suppose. Nothing too special dropped from him either, unfortunately. We already got a full body cushion. It's kind of funny this guy has no physical defense, because obviously it's immune to physical attacks, which is dumb. But, you know, I suppose when you have a full immunity to physical elements, you don't need physical defense, right? Unless you come across Fujiyama Volcano. Oh. But yeah, Satori's gonna have to fight these guys at some point because she can learn Psycho Blast, and it's really quite good. But that will come later. Yes, indeed. Then the Hippolyte over here is something I do still want to fight. It's got a couple of weaknesses, like light we've already seen. Stab is ironically a weakness for it because it uses stab-based attacks. It's resistant to strike, but you wouldn't really have thought so given how much damage Moko did with Fujiyama Volcano. And electric is a very good weakness to use on it. So that is pretty much that. The concrete attack, I don't know if I'll have showed it off actually, because it came up in a fight that I probably have skipped over because silent talking. But concrete is basically a multi-target petrify attempt thing. So yeah, it's magic, so it can get reflected. Then you have this butt who has the armored plank shield. So that is a shield we haven't actually seen because it didn't drop for me when I tried to get it before. The armored plank is a shield that you get from the very first enemies in the Yokai Mountain. The grey plasterboard enemies, for lack of a better word. It is a shield that blocks some physical attacks and prevents Slayer effects. Very rarely comes up, but yeah, apparently this enemy has it, so you can't use Slayers against Mimics on this guy. Being a Mimic, it's immune to light and dark, and it's actually very resistant to physical-based attacks too, but critically weak to electric. We're talking 3 times damage from electric here. It's so devastating how much you can just wreck this guy with a lightning move. So that's why Patchouli, if she survives, is good, but of course this guy's got a bunch of Slayers with that gunshot too. That gunshot comes back in post-game to haunt everyone. It's actually really annoying. Then we have the Cockatrice over here, which is weak to the same things as it was before. Doesn't really matter too much so long as you can blind it, like Moko can. It's pretty good, but 80 evasion means it can dodge quite a bit there. Although it only has 60 magic defense, which is why Patchouli's been doing good against it, and it has no physical defense, so again, Satori Tentacle could do quite good. It is weaker to light than it is to electric, so if you are running the Reimu stuff, obviously it's good, but light is very, very good in this particular area, so you're most likely using a lot of light attacks on it anyway. Just prioritize those before electric if you run Satori in this place. And then there was this mid-boss thing that we've seen. This is not the only mid-boss in the area, but it's probably the most boring one. It's got a lot of HP, 8,000 is crazy, but no magic defense and weakness to electric as we eventually found out. Yeah, it's not impossible to take down. Just don't expect physicals to do much to it, because yeah, it's no magic 200 physical defense and 50% resistance to stuff. Amazingly though, Fujiyama Volcano still did decent damage to it, despite all that, and despite the fact that it's immune to fire. Why is the fish immune to fire all of a sudden? Considering the other fish that we've seen are weak to fire, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. Fish are weird. I guess the oarfish was electric weak too, but that didn't make sense then either, so I don't know. If Waterland gets favoured though, this thing becomes a monster to take down. Look at that regen. 800 regen in water, it's crazy. There is another enemy that we haven't encountered yet. Actually, there are two enemies we haven't encountered, but both of them are extremely rare, so we might not get to see them. One of which appears for Zone A, one of which appears for Zone B, if I believe. It's not even zones, they're parties, but you know what I mean. So, with all of that giant explanation out of the way, there were 3 sets of enemies to go through. We are going to try and get some stuff out of this. Hopefully get a couple of trapezohedrons, most importantly get levels. Satori I would love to reach level 50, but she probably won't because that'll take too long. But yeah, we're going to kill some stuff, so I shall be back when stuff is killed. And there is our first bout of special item stuff. There's a trapezohedron, nice, fun there. I guess I didn't know the thingy, that enemy there could do poison breath, but poison breath is really nothing special at this point. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and the poison it inflicts is very minor, so whatever, right? It's really not a big deal. And I suppose this will be our second count of awesome items, because we have got, it's not even awesome specifically, but we did get a nice little bonus there of the bamboo from this guy. And I guess I was questioning the whole Slayer thing before. I suppose looking at it, you do get to use Slayer against the enemies that, you know, when you're using physical skills and stuff. It just didn't look like it because that guy is so resistant to damage in the first place from physical attacks. Like, I didn't know it had 50% resistance and all that fun stuff, so yeah. Oh, well, we do at least get a fire shard from this fight, and a level for Sakio, which is pretty good. 500 HP. A lot of that is because of the Kusanagi right now, but still 500 HP. That's more than Alice, I think. It's crazy. No, it's not. Okay, Alice has got 501. Oh, you troll, Alice. Of course, because that's not the item I'm looking to get here. We get the super special, secret rare, super awesome item from this guy. Yeah, I want the Vulcan amulet, and of course we get a synthesis material instead. That is not necessarily a bad thing, just not exactly what I was looking for. However, silver trays are incredibly good, and I will always take one of those if... So it seems I forgot an item when I was down here before. Wonder what is in here. This is the electric crystal. Okay, I don't think we found an earth crystal, did we? Because that would be the only item I'd be missing. Also, this bit exists for some reason. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. Maybe there was going to be something else like made here, but they didn't have the time or whatever to do it. I have no idea what that is supposed to represent. Ugh, okay. Alright, we do at least get one level for Satori here, level 48, pretty good. 5 HP off of that level is impressive enough. Yeah, I'd say that's not bad for a mage. Alright, Marissa gets another level, level 48. I think she gets a new skill at 50, it's either 50 or 51 that she gets a new skill, so that'll be exciting. Alright, with another Yukari sister slain, we do have another level here with the Lance Chaser from Notori. So, probably the most useless chaser she has outside of the Mystic Chaser, especially because that one still takes a bomb, it's still pretty dumb. But, hey, if you have a lot of stab type weapons, which there is one circumstance in the post game where you may actually have that, it can still do some work, just it's not going to do work very often. Whoa, we actually are going to get an emerald after all, so that's quite nice because I got a diamond in stage 15, so now we have one diamond and one emerald, which is not bad. They do make good accessories, so yeah, nice to have some before post-game. And there is another nice item for us. I did not know they could petrify. That is random. Okay. One problem with the sword chaser and other physical chasers, I guess this kind of counts for the magic ones as well, but you don't see it very often. One of the problems with the magic chasers, the sword chaser and stuff like that, is that if you don't connect with the attack, then you don't get to chase it. So you saw there meditation slash missed twice, and as a result of that I didn't get any chaser attack off of that, which would have definitely killed them, but you know, that's a thing that can happen. So now that is 4 trapezohedron in total that we have so far, which is really nice. 4 tier 6 weapon creation things is definitely something worth, you know, looking into. And with a straight Yukari going down, everybody's gonna get a level, which is super good. 48 for Yomu, finally over 400 HP, which is nice. Aya, not quite so high on the HP front, but she does have only 2 more MP. God damn it, Aya. And, well, at least Notori got 4 more MP, that's nice. But, yeah, nice 333 HP. That's fun, I suppose. And Sanai gets a decent amount of stats overall, everything except dexterity. That's not a bad level, if I do say so myself. Seriously, getting petrified on very resistant characters is absolute bullshit. Alright, just a quick service announcement here before we resume this. I have decided to just focus a tiny bit more party-wise here. I've just added Alice to the Route C party because we've already cleared both of the other routes in terms of all the enemies, and this route is proving to be more luck based than it really should be. So Alice herself, I can't actually show it unless I go here. I've just given her petrification guard stuff. Her shield should really do the rest, to be completely honest. And yeah, that's what we're doing here. So the rest of the party's still the same, core idea is still the same, but Alice is going to be involved because Alice is really good. I could have put Sanai in here, but I've decided Alice is more appropriate, so yeah. And of course, the very first thing that happens when I do put Alice in, apart from seemingly, you know, fight stuff is a lot easier, is that she gets a level, all the way to level 50 with 512 HP. It's kind of crazy to think that even though her tree is not even maxed yet, she has more than 10 times her amount of levels in HP right now. That will only get more ridiculous, and she will hit the HP cap before we're done. That's insane. Alright, Byakuren gets another level 2. Nothing too special, the intelligence is always good, because more magic attack is nice for Byakuren. I think that was an item we picked up there. Well, we did at least get Remir and Pachulia another level, so that's good. 49 for Remir, it's a lot of HP too. I suppose I have that tree fairly well raised. Yeah, we did. We got bamboo. Nice. Alright, well, Satori gains one more level, just a single level away from being able to learn those extra skills, which is quite nice. By the time we do end stage, 19, next stage, we should be able to get those skills, no problem. And Moko gains a level there too, which is good. She is also level 50 now. Just under the 400 HP mark, but she really hasn't got too much in her growth tree for that yet. So yeah, Moko can have a ton more HP than that. I think we're just about done here. There's this enemy here. I don't even remember if these guys drop anything I want, but whatever. We're just going to unleash hell on them because I can, and therefore I will. But yeah, I think that's about it in terms of killing enemies, because the next room, if I remember rightly, is the one with the gate that we have to go through, and I've already killed everything on the other side of that, so hey, we actually get something for this too, worth keeping in. Yeah, so I think that's about done. Obviously, okay, guess not. Never mind, I'm dumb, but whatever. Coming back through this with Alice is a ton easier than obviously doing it outside of that. So I'm glad I've gone and done that, even though I don't feel like I should have had to, but whatever. Alright, the Byakuin gains a level 2. She's still getting double experience, which is kind of funny. Yeah, the on-par level for this stage is way higher than where I'm at right now. That's gonna happen if you do even leveling like I have been, so yeah, it's interesting though. Oh, of course, we don't get the Armored Bloomers from this guy, but we get his special rare drop, which is a Hinatori Feather. So that's kinda cool, and I think that is definitely the final enemy here. There's a lot of other enemy sprites, but they are in other areas that Route C doesn't go to. And partly because of the complications of getting there, mostly because I've actually already killed them in a previous thing and then dying and having to save elsewhere kind of brought them back. That is all I really need to do for here. So you see there's an enemy down there, but I can't reach it from here, it's for a different team, and I am not going ahead and doing them all over again because I don't need to do that level of grinding just yet. We will be revisiting this stage anyway for level up skills, and not even level up, but you know, learning skills from Satori, because stuff like Psycho Blast from the Super Slimes, things like that, we need to come back and pick up. We can also get Shield Wall at some point, which is something we will do, but yeah, that's going to be it for now. So next time, when we go ahead and tackle our amazing adventure of the Genius of Sapphirus, we're going to go ahead and take on the maids, and hopefully not die, because, spoilers, this was one of the roadblocks in my original playthrough. I've only actually played through this bit once before. Up until this stage, I had played through the game a second time without starting with Moko and Byakuin, so I knew I could do it. One of the reasons why we ended up playing through this game, but I haven't actually replayed this in Weekend. I haven't played this since the original game, so in Lingering Summer Heat stuff, which didn't actually change anything difficulty-wise from the original, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting, to say the least. So yeah, this has been Gamer Cow playing Touhou, the Genius of Sapphire, and next time, prepare to die edition. Take care.